Hi everyone. It's now September and it's time to be picking fruit trees. I picked my peaches last night, which was a little upsetting, I guess you could say. Um, but I have an apple tree. Ta-da! And I believe, I forgot what it was, what species it was. But I believe I found out that it is a golden delicious because I wrote it down, thankfully, on some piece of paper somewhere in my notes of my garden stuff. So, super glad I found that. So, I was looking at how to tell if a golden delicious apple was ready, and it said the green on the bottom would be gone and more yellow. So, I think these still have a little while. There are some pretty massive ones on here, which I'm super excited about. But they all seem to still have like the green bottoms. So soon I'll get to harvest this. But I have another friend who has an apple and a plum trees at their house and let me go pick some. So I'm gonna try to preserve some of those today. Okay, so these are the pears and the apples that I harvested from my friend's house. I did have completely full buckets, but I took my friend's kid with me and gave them a bunch also. There's also 3 different types of pears in here. I believe this is the Bartlett pear. And then I believe, or wait, no, I think this is the Bartlett pear, the Vasco pear, and then I believe this is a red Bartlett pear. So this is a yellow one, and that's the red Bartlett. And then these apples, I don't know what type they are, but they're good. But my plan is to rinse them all off, get them drying. Or I'm starting with the apples. Rinse them all off, get them drying, and I'm going to dehydrate some, freeze some. And we'll see from there what else happens. All right, so I got all the pears and apples washed or rinsed off. I believe I'm gonna use these apples till I just cut up and freeze. These apples are like a medium size that maybe I might slice up to dehydrate, and then these ones I'm gonna slice up and dehydrate. Got the dehydrator out, I got a bowl, I got a peeler thing out, so this is where we're gonna start. Okay, so it's been a few years since I've used this device. But ideally, it peels and cores the apple as you go, maybe? Oh, kinda. Maybe more pressure needs to be applied. Oops. Okay, maybe. Oh, right, it spirals it. I don't know if that's what I want to have happen. Oh, golly. I don't feel like this is exactly what I wanted. But, I guess on the plus side, it's cored. Yeah. Because I guess it would be helpful if they were already cut thinly. There we go, that's the word I'm trying to say. To put on the dehydrator. This is a chaotic apple. But, again, see what happens, okay? This is, maybe we'll try another one. And then maybe if that doesn't work, I might have to bust out like a potato peeler and peel it that way. And then put it on that guy, which that could work. I think I'm going with the dehydrated aspect of things, so I can just preserve them for a while, and then I want to freeze them because my one dog, Trigger, has epilepsy, and I've noticed it used to be like really bad where he would pace for hours after he had a seizure, which would, you know, he'd pace until he had another seizure, and then it would keep going. He would be more disoriented and all the things. Yeah, talking about you. But I discovered that after... Oh, wow, yeah. So these will dehydrate nice. These are nice thin slices. So I think I like this device for that. This, apparently the core wasn't 100% centered, or I wasn't doing it 100% centered. One or the other. But if I give my dog watermelon or apple bites, he's able to like bounce back in recovery time. Even if he has another seizure, it seems to go faster than what it used to take him. Because he would just pace for hours. And then, oh my goodness, yeah, I'm probably going to hand peel all of these. Awesome. Good to know. Good to know. So we would pace for hours, and then I would, like, it was just, it's an exhausting thing to have a dog with idiopathic epilepsy, but it's much better now. Like, I think the watermelon and apples can help bounce his blood sugar back and maybe rehydrate him more. So it's handy to have that on hand on seizure days. And if I just have a bunch of apples already frozen, ready to go, like, so I'm pretty sure, like, you can take the cores and peels of apples and turn it into like apple cider vinegar. I don't know how to do that 100%, but like potentially I could do that also, or I can just give this scrap to my chickens. That's also an option. I feel like since I've started filming again, I just have no idea how to talk to a camera again. So that's, got to get back in the natural swing of that. That's fun for me. My goodness. Oh, that's just, all right. So potentially we have 2 apples done out of a bajillion more. So I've got some of these peeled. I've got it in lemon juice so they don't just start turning brown automatically. So I can start putting these on and see how many trays this already fills up. I don't want to like overnight soak apples in lemon juice because that's gross. I don't like tart things, so you know. So we're gonna do this and see how many more or how many trays this takes up for the time being, and keep going with what we've got. Are you guys harvesting from your garden right now and feeling overwhelmed by the abundance of anything special? Anything weird? Tart lemons. Ooh. Okay, cool. I did discover that peeling the apples first and then using that thing is way more useful and productive. All the things. All right, so we got the dehydrator fully filled with all the apple pieces. Oh gosh, now I can't. So I'm gonna plug that in. This is not any type of fancy dehydrator. There's no, like, you just plug it in and it starts. Period. These are still, these apples here are still the ones that I wanted to dehydrate. We really didn't touch much of the produce tonight, getting that chopped up. I might still try to knock these ones out tonight since they're just little tiny ones. I was going to peel them and freeze them, so I might try to get that done so at least it's closer to being done. But that's so many pears. So many apples. Blessings, really. So I'm probably going to do these like 2 rows of apples real quick, or like this section of apples real quick. Get those frozen, peeled, frozen, cut the things, and put it in the freezer. I started doing the apples and they're already starting to brown, so that's so fast. I don't really want to have them sit in lemon juice since they are for my dog and seizures, and I don't know how lemon juice affects dogs. Also, I really have a concern that like the lemon juice is gonna get sucked into my apples that I dehydrate and it's gonna taste gross. So we're gonna flash freeze these guys, which I did peaches yesterday, and they've been in there that I need to put in a freezer bag so they're ready to go. Like, I could use these things for smoothies even. I probably should take off the skin if I'm gonna use them for smoothies, but that's in the past now. Even for these ones that I haven't done, it's in the past. I'm not gonna. So that's gonna grab some peaches, put it in a bag. So these were all the peaches I got, and I've flash froze. You just cut them up and freeze them separately. I also put these in lemon juice so it could help with the browning. But ideally this helps so like this chunk is frozen and they won't freeze together. Potentially. If I've done things correctly. Very many peaches at all, but that's how many I got. So that's something. So then I'm just gonna use the same tin foil, spread these guys out. I'm gonna put these in the freezer for now so they don't keep browning while I get more cut up. my tray of apple slices. I'm gonna get it back in the freezer here in just a moment. But yeah, when you flash freeze, ideally you don't want things to be touching each other that much, so then they freeze individually and not as a massive chunk. And then I can bag these up tomorrow, and we can look at the dehydrated fruit and see how that went and get more of that going. So, I feel like today's now Saturday. I started this project Thursday evening. And I just feel like this is taking a bit of time. I've gotten almost all the apples done. My dehydrator has been running, it seems like 24 hours. Subtract the time I have to take time to fill it. I discovered my dogs do not like pears, so I was gonna freeze some for the dogs so we could have them available on seizure night. But since none of them like it, I will not. I need to leave in about 35 minutes and finish getting ready for work. So here's me trying to fill up the dehydrator one more time before I leave. Whew. I've cut myself 2 times now, all on my thumb, so that feels lovely. I love that I keep getting juice in my thumb, which is more better. This bucket I've been saving. Well, I have a bowl of apple peels in my fridge, apple peels and cores in my fridge, so I can try to make apple cider vinegar. Granted, I have apple cider vinegar. I don't know what to do with it, but I'm going to try to have it on hand to do something with it, I guess. Comment down below if you know how to use apple cider vinegar in your life. I feel like I've done the whole, you take a shot of it daily for health reasons, but that's really gross. So I don't know if I could commit to doing that again. I made some fruit leather, which I'm going to do 2 more batches later, because it did turn out, I just think maybe I wanted to do a trial run before I filmed it. So I knew what I was doing, but I think maybe I just had the dehydrator on for too long, because it got a little crunchy, which I don't feel like it's supposed to be that crunchy. So Okay, so I think we got them all filled up, and there's still some space, but I can't get a whole other pair on there. So we're gonna get this started. I'm gonna finish getting ready for work, and then this evening I will try to do some more fruit leather, so I'm closer to being done with this fun project. So we are finally getting to the end of the processing. I'm gonna make some fruit leather real quick, and I think I can show you what all I was able to get done. But this really has been like an all weekend process. My dehydrator has been going, it seems like, all week. Or all weekend, not all week. My weekend ended up being a rather chill weekend. Got homework assignments done, things got postponed. Ideally, I have a friend coming over later to help me lift one of my beehive boxes. But I'm really hoping to get this project done before we go into the new week, just so I can have a clean counter. My chickens have been very excited about the scraps they've been getting. To make this fruit leather, you take 4 medium apples and 4 medium pears. And you put it in a saucepan with a cup of water. Simmer it until everything gets soft, and then you let it cool off, and then you put it in a blender with 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and then you put it on the dehydrator tray, which when people typically do fruit leather, I feel like they have the fancy silicone mats. I do not. I just simply took some parchment paper and cut it roughly to size. So that is how I've been doing this. Seems sufficient enough. I didn't reuse my parchment paper just because I wasn't sure if that was an okay option, or if it gets too hot, or it's in there too, I've just used different parchment paper each time. Ingredient. Also, I've started making my dog food, or my dog treats, but I have not gotten very far with that. So I've started it, which that's something. I'm down to 1. So I really do need to make dog treats. recipe or put a link to the recipe down in the bottom in the description. Because it is something that I found on Pinterest. So I'll give credit to where credit's due. This is not something I made up. Okay, so I'm gonna add a cup of water to this and put it on the stove and let it simmer for like 10-ish minutes, give or take. Okay, so we've got this simmered, and so you strain it. Let's see if I don't make a mess this way. While I was waiting for that to kind of cool off, I was able to get one whole batch. Well, I tripled it, but one whole batch of dog treats rolled up. And I've got another one mixed up. How exciting. So you just, you drain it, and then you just put all the pieces in there. And then this, you just save this. This is just juice. How fun. You get about a cup of juice. Do it enough times, you'll get a bunch of cups of juice. How fun. So then you add the 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Maybe. Go blend it. So one moment. So then once you have it all blended, you put it on your silicone sheets or parchment paper that you cut to size. So I had already made one batch prior, so that's from earlier. But just kind of smooth that out, ideally. Orders. So the first time I made this, I think I made it too thin of a layer, so I'm trying to be more thick about this. Trying to make it a more thick layer. I'm not sure if that was actually heard while I walked away from the camera. Then I'm hoping that the rest of this can fit on this tray. Fingers crossed. And then I still have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 more peaches. No. Pears to do something with. So I think I might try to get some more on a dehydrator. But I also might just toss them in the freezer. For sure I'm going to finish filling up the dehydrator. Might have been a little too much to cram on here, but we gonna make it work, apparently. Maybe this tray will just have to stay on in the dehydrator for a couple of days. Oops. Okay. Just get the remainder out. Okay, cool. Then, yeah, I'm going to finish filling up the dehydrator. Oops. Now, this seems like far too thick. That's in the past now. It's in the past. Ta-da! So then, we're so close to being done. How exciting is that? Feel like I was peeling everything I put in the... We'll try a round where we don't peel. Because that's how excited I am about being done with dehydrating things and this project. I've thought about a few times going out and picking the huckleberries, but I'm like, get one project done before you freaking start another project. Because I swear, if you bring more stuff in this house that you can't process right, you got one project going. You're so close to being done. Don't get distracted. So, you know, I got my baby chicks integrated into the group, the flock the other day, and so I got to take this like baby playpen thing out of that area out of the chicken coop. I still need to wash it and get it back to a friend, but it's out of my chicken coop, which, step one, chicks now can hang out with grown-ups, so, yay. Which I feel like they had a big enough area, but also I'm like, oh, you guys love your freedom of the chicken, of the chicken coop area. So, that's fun and exciting. I'd like to get roosting bars in there before winter happens, which I have the bars, I just need to make the way that they're going to attach to the wall, which I think I have an idea of how to do that. My brain doesn't do like building things. It's like that's rocket science to me, so I really need to overthink that in all possible ways that I could. We're getting closer. Okay, we can get, no way, we cannot get another one on here. So, alright, we can get the dehydrator going again. And hopefully by tomorrow, it's all done. How exciting. How exciting. So I finally made it through harvesting, processing, all the things, which I'm so excited to show you what all we have. We have 2 bags of dehydrated apples, which are delicious. A bag and a quarter of dehydrated pears, which this one still has the skins on, this one doesn't. I got lazy at the end. Got 2 bags of the freaking fruit leather, which I wanted to eat, like, while it was getting done last night. I was nibbling on it, and I was like, I really just want to sit down with this whole flat piece and just eat it. And I was like, this is like 8 fruit. Don't do that. That's crazy. So, that's how much fruit leather we got. And then we got 2 bags of frozen apples. Got 1 big bag of frozen pears. This is the frozen peaches I got from the other day when I was processing things before I started the apple pear shenanigans. I've got this bowl of cores and skins that I've saved to do apple cider vinegar. I'm not sure if I've waited too long to do this. It's been in my refrigerator, so that's at least something. I need to do more research into that, but I've got this set aside just in case. And then I've got like half a jar of apple pear juice. So I'm pretty excited with all the stuff that I was able to get out. This is also tasty. You know, I'm pretty excited. And I also saved seeds from each one of these. We've got apples, the Bosco pear, yellow and red Bartlett pears. So that is also exciting. So I think that's the end of all of this. I'm gonna put all my stuff back in the freezer so it doesn't start thawing. And thanks for going on the journey with me. Have a good one.